These military-style weapons, like the AR-15, would I be happy if it was banned? I'd be happy if they never made another one.
It seems like Governor John Kasich wants you to think he's part of the solution to a divided America. But he doesn't want you to think, he wants you to think that.
Obviously, you're the governor of Ohio. You're here in New York City today. You just spoke to a bunch of students in an open forum. You're here talking to a news platform that mostly caters to young voters. Are you going to look me in the face and tell me you're definitely not running for president?
Well, I don't know what I'm doing.
Governor Kasich spoke to us after a Q&A session at Stuyvesant High School, one of the best public high schools in the country.
Now, this is boring for you, okay? This is like math class. What I'm trying to tell you is when all that debt is there... This is a math science school.
He praised the Parkland gun reform protesters.
It's important that young people get heard on this issue, on the environment, on the national debt.
He decried partisan politics, and he gave us a preview of the issues that might be in the forefront come 2020.
The #1 job in our country is driving. FedEx and all these people that drive stuff around in trucks. You know that in a short period of time we're going to have autonomous vehicles. So let me ask you a question. If you're a driver, where are you going to get your next job?
And he talked a lot about the meaning of life.
I watched your State of the
What'd
State
you think of it?
I thought it said a lot of really great things about the meaning of life. There was a lot of Nietzsche in there, man. Is everything okay?
There's not much Nietzsche in there.
There was one Nietzsche quote.
There was one, yeah. A little Kierkegaard. Got a lot of people, because everybody, look, from the beginning of time, people have tried to figure out why we're here and what is our purpose, right? We need to get back to doing what we can as individuals to try to make the world a better place, and we all can.
Doesn't that sound a lot like someone running for something? And term limits mean it's not for governor of Ohio. Kasich has been a vocal critic of President Trump and has been bandied about as an alternative in 2020. Meanwhile, he's been saying stuff like this about the two-party system.
You have 2 department stores.
Yeah.
And you go to both of them, and they don't have what you want. So what happens in the marketplace?
You go to the little convenience store, like a small little boutique.
But it didn't exist before. The boutique
exist.
didn't exist. And now all of a sudden, because the department stores are not meeting your needs, you're now going to the boutique store. That could happen here. You know, the parties are so locked in. It's like, I better not do this because somebody back here in the back room might not like the way I'm behaving or what I'm saying.
And the third-party run might make the most sense, especially if the governor's bucking of the Republican platform on guns. He suggested reforms that go way beyond what the party or the NRA want. Yet,
in 2014, you were endorsed by the NRA. That was something you used to be proud of. Is that something you're still proud of?
Look, I've been endorsed by, all kinds of people and not endorsed. In 2010, they didn't endorse me, so, in 1994, I voted for the assault weapons ban. I'm a Second Amendment supporter. But I also think there's reasonable limits to it.
And you did remove the endorsement from your website this week. Did you have a change of heart? Someone from your team did. Did you have a change of heart, or is that politics?
No, it's not. It's to update. It's to make sure that people know where I am.
Lots of left-leaning Americans are concluding that Kasich is the Republican who can be responsible on guns, no matter what his record on women's health or sending Ohio state troopers to quell protests in Standing Rock might be. He knows there's a division in the Republican Party that might lead to its demise.
There's a tug of war in the National Party. We'll see who wins.
How would you define the two sides in this tug of war?
One that's more negative populist as opposed to those that are positive populist.
And this is going to sound crazy, but this is something I've seen talking to a lot of young Republicans on the ground. But there is this kind of dialogue that they truly think that Western culture is in danger, which really comes down to thinking that white people are in danger, that there's some threat coming. What do you have to say to these people within the Republican Party on the fringes?
I would tell them that I think they're mistaken.
That's absurd, because it's a very common narrative among the college Republicans.
Yeah. Well, look, I think for college Republicans, it's a time when you explore who you are, what you think, whatever. But we don't get too carried away about it. But you have a tendency to focus, I notice, only on the Republican Party. You know what it's like to be a Democrat? Step out of line with the hard left, and they'll try to take you out. Did you know that? It's not just Republicans. There's a lot of lack of tolerance in the Democratic Party. I hope you're aware of that.
No, I'm aware.
There's intolerance in both.
If you look at the
primaries,
I don't
like either of them when they do that.
If you look at the primaries, Bernie Sanders did not win the primary and Hillary Clinton did, and President Trump, the extreme, won his primary and you didn't. You know what I mean? The centrist won in the Democratic Party. The far right-winger won in the Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, maybe because of the way in which they did the rules, too. I haven't studied it enough, but right now, If you're on the hard left, if you're not on the hard left, you got a problem.
But after our interview had concluded, one of our other producers had just one more question.
Given that the far right that is being expressed in this country right now is a white nationalist far right, is there an equivalent?
Oh, wait a minute. That's I don't think that that's right.
You don't think that that's
No, you can't characterize it as just that.
well,
I mean,
that's part of it.
well, but there's part. I mean, look. The fact of the matter is, people who are intolerant or people who are extreme, I don't get them, and they maybe don't get me. Okay. And so, look, I'm just trying to tell you that in the practical politics of the day, if you are a Republican, you have to watch your right flank, and if you're a Democrat, you have to watch your left flank. And if you don't, you could be primaried and lose your job.
So is he planning to take a far-right leader's job, perhaps?
Let's talk about God. Okay, I didn't get to be president, right? I didn't win. I don't think he was at the ballot box or anything, but it wasn't my time or it wasn't my purpose. I just have to go along with the flow. I have to have my own intuition. I have to listen, and I have to not jump too quickly in terms of what I want to do next. But what I do want to do next is to have a voice.